Welcome to the Made in MV podcast, where we invite you in to learn how we do what we do at the Mount Vernon School and why. In this third episode, meet Jackie Fink, a lower school parent, Talisha Jackson, a middle school parent, and Gordon Blitch, an upper school parent, who are three of Mount Vernon's most engaged parents, to hear how it's a win-win to be deeply involved at the school. Find out how to get engaged and why as we learn how empowering engaged parents has an impact on the school and our students. All right, welcome. We have three amazing guests today on Made in MV podcast, episode 3, Empowering Engaged Parents. We have three individuals who are very engaged at the school in a variety of capacities. So I would really like each one of you to please introduce yourselves. Talisha, go ahead.
Talisha Farrow Jackson, and I have an 8th grader at Mount Vernon. I also have a 3rd grader that's dying to come to Mount Vernon eventually, who's in elementary school. I've been there I've been there 2 years. My family has been there 2 years. And I am recently new to Georgia as well. So we experienced a little bit of the public school system and then decided to make the transition over to Mount Vernon, and we've loved it ever since.
Welcome. It's so exciting to have you here. Thank you. Jackie.
Good morning. My name is Jackie Fink. I am mom of Brooklyn Fink. She is a kindergartner at Mount Vernon. We've been at Mount Vernon for 6 years. She started actually in the infants program in early preschool, and we have finally made our way over to lower school. And this year I am serving on the Mount Vernon Parents Network as the lower campus community engagement chair. So I'm helping to support connections within our community.
That's a mouthful, Jackie. I can't wait to hear more. I hear you share exactly what it is that you do as the chair. And Gordon, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Gordon Blitch. My son is Jack Blitch. He's in 10th grade now. We started in 4th grade and have had just an amazing experience in Mount Vernon, and happy to be engaged. I'm currently the co-chair of the MV Experts Committee, and we've focusing on getting the parents engaged and helping out using and sharing their expertise with the classes.
That's fantastic. What a broad reach of capacity that you guys are covering. Before we go into exactly what it is that each of you do, because we can't wait to hear more about that, I will ask a very basic question to all three of you. Why do you volunteer? Why do you take the time and make the effort to reinvest in the school with your time and your gifts and your talent?
Well, I guess I didn't even say I was the MV chair, the MV chair of MV Cares, a part of the MVPN network. And that is Prayers Cares, Community Service. So serves, cares, prayers, and teacher appreciation, faculty appreciation. So why? It's just a win-win all the way around. Coming into the Georgia as a newcomer, as well as coming into Mount Vernon as a newcomer, both of those things required a lot of, diving in and getting accustomed and acclimated to what was happening around us, the traffic for one, and the communities that we live in. And it's been a win-win for not only me being involved in finding resources, not only for myself, but for my family. And so my son has also benefited. And a lot of times we, as parents, we get into our own space within our own silo, and we kind of just do, work and family, go here and come back, and not realizing that sometimes we have to extend ourselves in order to really provide resources for our family and our children. And I've learned to do that coming into a new state and coming into a new school, because in order for him to build, I need to know who these parents are, who are your friends, who are their parents. And so getting involved in the school really helped with finding resources as well for community, and also for my child, and getting to know other parents and like-minded people. So
I love that you say it's a win-win because I don't see it as any other way. So that's great that you said that. Gordon, what about you? Why do you volunteer?
Well, I don't know how to follow up that answer with after Tanisha. I mean, hers is so eloquent. I don't know what to say now.
It's a standard answer. We get
Gosh,
paid to
I
say
sound
that. I'm joking.
sound really trite here. No, I think when we first walked through the campus on our fourth grade tour, my wife and I were just really blown away by the school's approach to education. We both were in corporate America. We both, had experiences with design thinking. I was in the marketing side of it. She was on corporate America side, and we were so excited by the power of that process of thinking and of solving problems and teamwork that the school is using, that we knew that we had to keep our fingers on the pulse of it. And that's why I volunteer, quite frankly, because I love the way that these kids are responding to the challenges that they're facing. And I understand completely that these are the challenges and these are the processes that people are being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by corporations to do for them. So they're coming out just so well equipped, and to be a part of that energy is, more of a gift to me than to the school. So it's selfish.
Well said. Well said. Well, it might be selfish, but it's still a win-win. We win too.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie, what about you?
For me, it was about having Brooklyn seeing me involved in a part of her life that otherwise I wouldn't be. We drop our kids off or our kids leave for school and they have this whole world that just we're not a part of. So I wanted to make the conscious effort and choice to be a part of that world and make sure that she knows that I'm as involved in her school as she is. The teachers know me, the administration knows me, her friends know me. I'll be walking by on a walk. We live right by campus, and from the frontier, I'll get Jackie's or Brooklyn's mom, Miss Jackie, and they'll start waving and calling to me. And I love that they know that they know me and they know that we're a part of their family.
Jackie, the funny thing about that is exactly why my son does not want me to be.
That's what happens with different stages and different ages.
So it's so cool to have.
Yes,
exactly.
You guys have answered it all very differently, but each one of you is nodding when the other one is sharing their perspective, which just tells me that you agree with all of that. So there are so many reasons that it's important to be engaged, and I'm so glad that you all shared each piece of that, because I think everything that you said is extremely valid. It's for the kids, it's for yourself, it's for the school, and again, Talisha, phrase of the day: win-win. So tell us a little bit we're very curious to hear, what are these words that we don't understand? Like this long title that you have, Jackie. Explain to everybody what it is that you do, what your role is as a volunteer.
So I work with the school and also with our individual classroom communities and grade level communities to build connections. So one example of that is our Alpha Omega program, where we have our youngest students, the preschoolers through some of our lower school grades, paired up to adopt a member of the senior class. And throughout the year, they celebrate together. And this isn't necessarily something that would naturally take place. So kind of putting that effort forward to make those matches and make those connections within the community help that program really grow. Another example is something like Family Fun Night, which happens to be tonight for lower school. So we're having a fun little party out on the frontier, and an ice cream truck's coming, and it's a chance for our families to get to know each other outside of the classroom, and then classes to know each other as well. So just facilitating those connections within our community of Mount Vernon and the community at large.
It sounds like what you're saying is, first of all, a lot of fun. You get to do a lot of fun things.
I do.
But it brings a community together in a way that maybe they wouldn't. Parents will see each other as they drive through carpool, or they have their neighborhood friends or the specific friends that the play dates for the younger kids. But otherwise, they wouldn't have a place to connect necessarily, where there isn't a purpose to come as far as a parent university or something else that the school is providing. So it's purely parent to parent, peer to peer connections, which I think helps build our community.
Absolutely.
Gordon, tell us in what capacity you are serving. Explain MV Experts and what it is that you hope to bring to our community at a different level.
Right. So I think a lot of it has to do with continuing on with the connections perspective. We have a wealth of expertise in our community, our parents and our grandparents, and our students are constantly working on products and projects, that can be products as well as experiences that are real world, that they need that expertise. They need sounding boards, they need coaches, mentors, they need panels to sit and judge their work. They need focus groups where they can ask questions and really deep dive into how these experiences, whether that's a nonprofit or whether it's an actual corporation, has an experience going, and how that actually is delivered to the community. So what we're doing is trying to create a resource for students and teachers to be able to access the expertise of parents and grandparents, to be able to bring them in. Right now, it's guesswork, it's personal networking. This is trying to make it more of a product that is easy, more like a database, almost maybe like a LinkedIn. We don't know. We're still working on that. We don't know what the answer is, but that's part of the fun, is trying to come up with that process. The other half of what we do is about bringing in partners. These are nonprofit and for-profit institutions to come in with projects, with messy questions that they need solved, and to throw into our design thinking process that our students are learning. And we've had great success already with this. This is not brand new. It's continuing on the efforts of others. But we brought in before, Whole Foods, Porsche, Delta. We're looking at other large corporations and a lot of philanthropies. So our kids get to work on real world problems and deliver that. And I can tell you, from having been in this world, the answers that we come back with and the deliverables are on the level of professional agencies and organizations that are out there. So those are the two things. It's the resources of the parents, and then identifying and bringing in business partners, profit and nonprofit.
There is no better way to bring the real world to our student experience than to bring external and internal parent experts, grandparent experts. Like you said, the wealth of knowledge and experience that exists in our community of 900 families is just, it's just a treasure trove, quite frankly, of experiences and interest levels and varying degrees of knowledge. And everybody has a story, everybody has a different experience. So to be able to bring that is really fantastic. Gordon, are you finding that that you're reaching a different group of parents who want to get engaged?
Yeah, I think that, what we're finding is that the people that are, that are maybe working at the CDC, in our pandemic at this time, they don't have time to come and really volunteer, and sit on a committee to figure out whatever it is. But they are very, very interested in being tapped to come in and maybe help out a little bit on projects, very specific, like the, time constraints are very tight for them, but they still want to be involved. And we are finding that those are the people that are, very interested in coming in, when we can come to them with very specific and measured requirements. So it's exciting. It's the people that probably have, wished that they could. They were like me when I was traveling so much before the pandemic. We just couldn't find the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just literally cannot fit it in. You want to, but you just are not able to find a way to do it.
And before we hear, Talisha, what it is that you are organizing and overseeing for the school, I think it's important to point out too that between Jackie, what you've shared, and Gordon, what you've shared, is there is a place for everybody. You can come and you can help decorate the frontier for a fun night, or you can call in for a 20-minute Zoom to share your expertise. And there's a little something for everybody, whether it's the time or the adjustment, or you're traveling. we want to find a place for everybody because we believe everybody has something to give, something to share, and some way to enrich our student experience or our faculty experience as well. Okay, so Talisha, tell us what it is that you oversee, and tell us about your committee.
Which committee? No.
Oh, all of them, all of them, because I think you have a very robust, you cover a lot of ground with MV Cares. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, but that's why Gordon and Jackie, I'm on every call with them because it's an overarching, I tap on their shoulder every now and then to make them inclusive of their expertise. But I am the chair of the MVP network, MV Cares committee. And under the MV Cares, the subcommittees are appreciation, MV serves, and MV Cares, which also is inclusive of a prayer group. So the MV prayer group, it's praise for all of our faculty and students on a monthly basis, calling them by name and providing any type of care concern under that Cares group for other MV parents, students, families, alumni who are celebrating major milestones. So it may not be just illnesses or loss, but some of the efforts that we put forth in organizing meal trains, clothing donations, sending care cards or video cards to any of the families or students, and just any other special expressions that can best meet the needs of our MV families. So some type of sympathy, collaboration for them. And then there's also the MV Serves Committee. So we will also be reaching out to Jackie and Gordon again. They're on our calls every now and then. And this is just a way to communicate our impact, as Gordon spoke of, locally and globally in the community through community service. So we do community development through the community and supporting the community development team through participating in volunteer activities, sharing stories, spreading the word about our community outreach and what we do, and being a connector really to local and global or nonprofit organizations by identifying opportunities, volunteer opportunities for our families, our students, our grade levels, our classrooms, the grandparents, our alumni, all of them. And then our MV Appreciation subcommittee is one of our committees and individuals that are involved in helping plan and coordinate staff appreciation days, monthly staff meetings for each grade level, gift funds, the meals, classroom activities, and anything else that you can think of. So I think I covered it all.
That's a lot. That's a lot, Talisha. That's a lot. I love what you said, that you tapped the shoulder of Jackie and Gordon. And I think that's part of why it's a network, because everybody works together. There is no independent team. Everybody collaborates and works together. And that's what we're trying to teach our students to do as well, that nobody should be in a silo. And if you are in a silo, we're going to break down the wall and we're going to merge with another one. And I also think it's important to note that the three of you represent three different divisions: Jackie in lower school, Talisha in middle school, and Gordon upper school. So again, it just continues with the theme that there's something for everybody at every stage. And while Jackie's excited to have somebody, the little ones wave and hi, and, Trip is not going to be doesn't want that to happen. So, Mom, you have to go around the back door or something. But he'll come around.
The benefits, Anne. He just doesn't want anyone to know.
He'll come around. Right. Oh, that's right. He'll come around. He'll come around. A theme that I keep hearing is connecting to each other, connecting to other parents, connecting to the faculty and staff, and connecting to your children. When they see you, you're visible, you're there, and maybe they don't see you, but they know you're there, and they know that you're helping, and they know that you know about the school and you're connected to the school, which, whether they want to admit it or not at the older ages, that is of benefit to them. One of the things I wanted to find out from you is tell us how you think being engaged creates community or builds community, or does it? What is it about being an engaged community that benefits the school?
Well, I will say it goes back to Gordon when he mentioned it can be somewhat personal, self-serving in a sense. And it- how that benefits, I will say for me, just to be more personable about my engagement is last year during the pandemic, my family was going through a lot of health concerns or scares and things that were very dear to us and very private. And finding
Mm.
MB cares and the prayer group specifically, that really helped um, just embed me more in the
Mm.
community. And it really helped in a trying time to get through it because, again, we were virtual and new. And so having immediate family, we went through prostate cancer, kidney cancer,
No.
2 breast cancers. And, during that time, I was able to connect, there's that word again, to connect with other families and other people who I could relate to or they could relate to me. So whether it was empathetically or sympathetically, they were there. It built us, it gave us something to either celebrate or commiserate over, however you looked at it, depending on the day. But we were able to connect and we were able to relate, and it built a relationship. And then that extended to a larger community. So from the individual relationship, it served me, wholly. And then outside of that, and when I say holy, not HOLY, but meaning as a whole,
Mhm.
as a whole. And then it extended out. So from an individual self-serving purpose to extending out to my family, to extending out to a larger and broader community, and extending out to me serving and giving back. So it's really about me giving back is where I am today with Mount Vernon.
Thank you, Talisha. Thank you for sharing that very personal aspect of your life. And I hope everybody's okay or on their way to being okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Thank you, Anne. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Yes.
Of course. Of course. Jackie, Gordon, how do you
Gordon, you
think?
wanna
Go ahead. How do you think? How do you think the community fares when more people engage? What is it about an engaged community that makes a difference?
Go a little bit, I guess, go to the teamwork kind of perspective. The more shared experiences and time you have with other people, the deeper and more long lasting those relationships are. And you become more focused on, shared outcomes and the betterment of the group as a whole. And I think that's what really is the benefit of us all working together, and the energy that Mount Vernon puts into connecting people, really trying to force. And I can tell, even though I do not know this for a fact, but I can tell that you all have a lot of, meetings where you're saying, how can we get more engagement from X, Y, or Z? And because it shows, and there's a constant, kind of drumbeat of, get involved. And there's plenty of people that are brought in. It's not a small clique of people that run the organizations, and everyone else just sort of leaves it to them to run. So I think that creates a greater sense of community, which helps everyone, focus on the shared goals, which are to give our kids an amazing skill set and the ability to deal with this world when they get on their own, which I do believe needs the constant renewal of new ideas and new perspectives, which is what seems to be the culture of Mount Vernon. So,
What he
Thank you.
said.
Yes.
Great job.
Yes. We all echo everything that each of you are saying. Jackie, what about you?
I think it strengthens the community as a whole, because not only do we create these new connections and we have these new resources, but it also gives us an opportunity to come up with these new creative ideas and new ways to engage, or new ways to support our community through MV Cares or our teachers through the MV experts. All of us working together it's the sum of the part. The whole of the parts is better than
The sum of all
the
parts.
expression I'm trying to come up with.
Yes.
We know exactly what you
all
mean.
of us working together and having all of these wonderful ideas is so much better than just one person coming and saying, this is how it needs to be done and this is what will work. It's the community is just strengthened by all of these individuals with all these varying backgrounds and levels of expertise, and even ages of children, because people with seniors have a very different life than people with our littlest preschoolers. So to have those different perspectives is great for the community.
Couple of things that give insight. You're right, Jackie. I like that. I'm sorry. It just gives such insight because I got to know so many other people, and you never know what others are going through. You may think that you're alone going through something, or it's only you that has experienced it, but it's not. And so that community engagement allows that openness and transparency.
Yeah, and one quick little comment is, the very first step that our kids learn in the design thinking process is empathy, right? I mean, it's the design, it's user-centered design, which is not necessarily the natural go-to place for trying to solve a problem.
So we're all learning. What I share on the community development team is diversity of talent and diversity of thought, broaden perspectives, and you get a better result. We find that to be true again and again and again. So every voice matters, every opinion counts, and all ideas are good. Not all ideas make it, but all ideas are good. One more thing before we wrap up, I'm just going to ask you each individually, how does somebody get started? What if somebody hears all of these amazing things that you're saying and they say, but I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I have to offer. Talisha. Come to Talisha, who with the biggest
pick me
with the biggest collection of committees ever. So there is definitely space and room. What would you say, Talisha?
I will say, and the way to get started is, I had to learn this, is to be open. It starts with the mindset to just be open. A lot of times you may go to the meeting and you're in the back of the meeting. And you're just like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want anyone to ask me anything. I don't want to answer any questions. And sometimes it's just, just move a little closer, maybe sit in the middle. And then once you open yourself up, I believe that others will draw to you and they will see you. And that's what I got at Mount Vernon. So just when I was like in the thick of thinking about getting involved, I hadn't decided. And it was just like, hey, and I felt like I opened myself up and that drew others to me. And I was able to get involved and connect with the community and find others that are like-minded. And they were receptive of my ideas and my energy and my volunteerism. So that's how you get involved. Show up, come on, log in, open the email, whatever you need to do. And just come on out. And once, everyone sees you, then they are so welcoming, you can't help but to get involved, but call. But you can also email parentsprayer@mountvernon.com. MV Cares.
That is a good question. I mean, what is the first step for someone that, who is the point of contact on volunteerism in the school?
So we've just hired Hunter Pierce, who is our Director of Community Impact. And that title fits her so well because she is in a very short period of time has made an incredible impact on the community by getting people involved and getting the word out with Year of Impact and MV Serves and so many different things. So she can be emailed. It's hpierce@mountVernonSchool.org, and she will put everybody to work, find the right place for them and put them to work. And also it's just word of mouth. If anybody wants to get involved, if they know somebody, then somebody else knows somebody, and just spread the word. And trust me, that kind of word goes around like crazy. It's like wildfire. And we just enjoy bringing more people into the fold. And I hope that our listeners are hearing what the three of you are saying, and realize how fortunate we are as a community to have people who are engaged like yourselves, who are making such a difference. And you have such talent, and you bring such different skills and energy to the school, although all of the energy is extremely high, which is great. But it's different energy and different talent, different perspectives, and different skills. And again, the three of you are simply a representative or are representative of the rest of our volunteers and our engaged parents. And I hope you do feel empowered to make a difference, to do something that's, hasn't been done before, bring some new ideas to the school. And, we like to try new things. So keep bringing those ideas. I can't thank you enough for taking the time today to share your story, your perspective, and what you do for the school. I would like to just toss it back to each of you. If there's one last thing that you want to share with everybody about either what you do, why you do it, how you do it, when you do it, I'm sure they'd like to hear that.
I would say, just put your name on a list, whether it's signing up to be a mystery reader in a classroom or helping out with, I know the gala is coming up this year, putting your name on a list to be a volunteer for that. Just start there. And as you have more time, put your name on the next list. And then you may wind up on one of these panels one day, giving even more of your time, which is, happy to do it. And it's fun, it's creative, it gets a different side of my brain working from my regular everyday job and my mom job. So I love doing it, and I do it selfishly, and I do it because I want to give.
Thank you, Jackie.
I agree with Jackie. Absolutely. Just put your name on the list. And it goes back to what Ann was saying, that there are so many opportunities for new ideas. Mount Vernon welcomes new ideas. And I believe in my heart of hearts that they have a resource for absolutely everything. So whether it be for parents, the students, alumni, the grandparents, just anyone who wants to volunteer, they have a resource. And there is a list, as Jackie says, for anyone. So again, we have appreciation, we have cares, we have prayers, we have service, experts, as Gordon says. So please, just reach out to anyone. And Hunter is she has great energy, and she is definitely a person that can connect you. But if you need immediate connection, parents, prayer at mountVernonSchool.org.
I want an email address so I can steal
the address by heart. That's parents with an S, plural, prayer at mountVernonSchool.org. Okay, thanks. Gordon.
Thank you, Talisha.
Yeah, I just have to echo what everyone else said. I mean, it's up to you on what you can provide, what you can give. Time, talent is, and treasure, I guess, is all appreciated. But we don't all have a bunch of hours to give necessarily. And when we can, we give, and when we can't, we drop back. And it's it's just every little bit helps, and every little comment helps. So I know that on the expert side, we are going to be just engaging with people as they can. So it literally might be a 45-minute Zoom call the entire year. That'd be the end of it. So, but it can have amazing impact on an 11th grader or 12th grader that's having to speak to a professional that, that they would not normally have to, and having to actually respond in a thoughtful manner rather than just, wave them off like they do with us as their parents. So I think it's a great opportunity to give, and you'll receive back, I think, tenfold. Personally.
Wow. I mean, the three of you, your perspectives are so incredible, and I'm so glad that you can share what it is that you do and how you do it, so that our other parents can hear that and get and be motivated possibly to get engaged as well, and bring something even different, even more unusual, more unique, or share their time with us. So thank you all, Jackie, Gordon, and Talisha. Really, we could not do what we do at the school without parents like yourselves. And we are so grateful for you, for each of you, and the others that are so engaged. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Anne, for all you do and your team. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Made in MV to learn how we do what we do at the Mount Vernon School and why. Next time on Made in MV, Innovation Diploma, where age doesn't indicate capability.